Under the pale autumn light of Tehran, the city awakens to the echo of chants and fluttering flags. Across the capital's main square, a tide of people gathers, men, women and children, unified by a single cause, solidarity with Palestine. This is not an ordinary Friday gathering. It comes just hours after Israel declared a ceasefire in Gaza and began the first phase of its withdrawal, a 72-hour countdown that could see hostages freed and a new, fragile calm tested on the world stage. From the rooftop vantage points, the scene stretches like a living mosaic, thousands of Iranians moving as one, voices blending into a steady rhythm of slogans that rise and fall with the cadence of resistance. In the center, banners in Farsi proclaim messages of victory, defiance, and faith. "Victory is near," reads one sign held high by a young woman in a headscarf, her eyes fixed on the horizon as if watching history unfold. Across the crowd, the green, white, and red of the Iranian flag merge with the black, white, and green of Palestine, two nations' colors intertwining in symbolic solidarity. The demonstrators wave them with fervor, the cloth snapping in the dry wind like defiant drumbeats. Many carry portraits of Ayatollah Khamenei and of the late Ayatollah Khamenei, figures whose images loom large behind the crowd, reminding onlookers that in Iran, politics, faith, and foreign policy often converge in the same breath. And then a darker image emerges. Amid the sea of flags, a group of men ignite a lighter beneath a folded piece of fabric, a US flag, its stars and stripes quickly consumed by orange flame. Cheers rise as smoke curls into the air. The act, both protest and performance, anger and symbolism, fuse together. A second flag, this one Israeli, lies on the ground. Shoes stamp upon it rhythmically, not in chaos but in choreography, as if rehearsed, an unspoken message sent to distant capitals. Iranian state television will later describe this moment as a public expression of unity against occupation and oppression. But for many outside observers, the demonstration also serves a domestic purpose, a showcase of resolve as Tehran's leadership faces growing economic pressure and renewed international scrutiny. In another corner of the square, a man appears wearing a papier-mâché mask, unmistakably that of US President Donald Trump, his exaggerated features drawing both laughter and jeers. Around him, others raise posters of Supreme Leader Khamenei, pairing mockery with reverence in the same frame. The message is unmistakable. Iran's defiance, even as Washington mediates fragile peace elsewhere, remains unbroken. As the camera pans, we see faces young and old, students, shopkeepers, clerics, mothers holding children on their shoulders. Many carry hand-painted signs in both Farsi and Arabic. From the river to the sea, we stand with Gaza. America cannot silence Palestine. Loudspeakers mounted on pickup trucks broadcast revolutionary hymns mixed with Quranic verses. The words reverberate across the square like a call to faith and resistance intertwined. The imagery is potent and deeply political. For decades, Iran has positioned itself as the champion of the Palestinian cause, often contrasting its rhetoric of liberation with what it portrays as Western hypocrisy. Today's demonstration, organized within hours of the ceasefire announcement, seeks to claim moral ground at a pivotal global moment. Outside Tehran, similar rallies are reported in Mashhad, Isfahan, and Shiraz, though none match the scale of the capital's turnout. Here, the square resembles a tapestry of ideology and emotion. Some demonstrators wave Hezbollah flags, yellow and black banners of Iran's most prominent regional ally, signaling that the movement is not just about Gaza, but about a broader axis of resistance spanning Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and beyond. Still, beneath the slogans lies a quieter sentiment: relief. For many Iranians, weary of months of tension along the borders, the ceasefire represents a rare pause in an otherwise relentless cycle of regional confrontation. As one elderly man tells a local journalist, when Gaza bleeds, the whole Muslim world feels it. Maybe now, at least for a few days, the bleeding will stop. The air hums with collective emotion. Women in black chadors stand shoulder to shoulder with young men waving flags, their chants synchronized, their eyes bright with conviction. Some hold placards showing bombed-out buildings in Rafah and Khan Yunis. Others display images of children wrapped in Palestinian keffiyehs. The effect is both haunting and powerful, a protest that is as much about mourning as it is about solidarity. Tehran's skyline forms the backdrop, Minarets and billboards, revolutionary murals and digital screens displaying the Palestinian flag. Onlookers film with smartphones, uploading snippets to social media. Within minutes, the footage spreads across Persian-language networks online, even as access to certain foreign media remains restricted. Officially, the government calls this a spontaneous gathering, yet the choreography, the flags, the posters, the timing suggests coordination by pro-government organizations. For Tehran, this is more than public sentiment, it's strategic messaging. At a moment when the United States is celebrating its role in brokering a ceasefire through President Trump's envoys, Iran reasserts itself as the spiritual heart of the anti-Israel front, a counter-narrative to Western diplomacy. In one powerful frame, the camera lingers on a woman's face as she holds up a photo of a young Palestinian boy. Tears fill her eyes, but her voice does not tremble as she repeats the chant, "Palestine will be free." Around her, the sound swells, waves of people repeating the same line, louder and louder, until it becomes a single, deafening echo. As the lens sweeps across the crowd, a series of banners catch the light. Calls for boycotts, slogans against normalization, and warnings to Arab governments that have recently resumed ties with Israel. The images are raw but organized, part of an enduring ritual that fuses politics, religion, and emotion into a single narrative of resistance. What's striking, though, is the contrast. On one hand, a message of liberation and solidarity. On the other, acts of anger, flags burning, effigies mocked. The duality reflects Iran's complicated identity on the global stage, part revolutionary, part diplomatic, often both at once. Analysts in Tehran say such demonstrations serve multiple audiences. Domestically, they rally the faithful and remind citizens of a common cause that transcends daily hardship. Regionally, they project unity with Palestinians while asserting Iran's leadership within the so-called axis of resistance. And internationally, they challenge Western narratives of peace by framing the ceasefire not as an end, but as another stage in a longer struggle. As the crowd swells further, chants evolve from death to Israel to broader calls against American interference. The burning of flags, replayed repeatedly by state media, becomes the visual centerpiece of the broadcast. For many watching abroad, it is a reminder of the deep, unresolved animosities that continue to define Middle Eastern geopolitics, even amid temporary truces. The sun begins to lower over Tehran, casting long shadows across the square. Loudspeakers announce prayers for the martyrs of Gaza. Thousands raise their hands in unison. The camera captures the synchrony, palms turned skyward, voices rising in collective prayer. It is at once solemn and theatrical, a spiritual crescendo to a day of defiance. As night falls, the demonstration begins to thin, but the message remains. Posters are taped to lampposts, burnt flag remnants scatter across the pavement. The scent of smoke and incense lingers. Tehran's central square slowly returns to normal, but the images captured by AFP TV continue to circulate worldwide. For Iran's leadership, this footage serves as both evidence and symbol, proof that the cause of Palestine still ignites passion far beyond Gaza's borders. For the participants, it is an act of identity, a reaffirmation that, even as global politics shift, their allegiance to the Palestinian struggle endures. And for the world watching, the demonstration encapsulates the paradox of this moment, a ceasefire that brings hope to some, outrage to others, a peace that for now rests on fragile ground. From Tehran's crowded streets to Gaza's ruined skyline, from diplomatic rooms in Washington to the quiet offices of negotiators in Doha and Cairo, this 72-hour window may shape the next chapter of a decades-long conflict. Yet here, in the beating heart of Iran, the message remains unwavering. Solidarity with Palestine, defiance toward its enemies, and faith that the struggle, however prolonged, carries divine purpose. As the final frames fade, flags still waving, chants still echoing, Tehran's voice joins the global chorus, reacting to the ceasefire. It is loud, it is emotional, and it is unmistakably Iranian, because in this part of the world, even moments of peace are never silent.
و همچنین مجروحان و اسرا.
دلس شوم و پلید و ابلیس
و افراد طبقه بسیار بالا در این رژیم بودند. تمام اینها نشان می‌دهد
ای دل به هواخواهی یاران
منذ اليوم الأول قطاع غزة ودفعوا ثمنا كبيرا وغاليا والسيد هاشم صفی
با استکبار غربی و جنایت‌های صهیونیستی همچنین تشکر می‌کنم از
تحية لليمن وأهلها ومقاومتها وشهدائها.
علیه مردم فلسطین، درود به شما ای مردم یمن، درود به شما ای مقاومت یمن.
عالمية رأيناها في شوارع كل العالم من كندا إلى استراليا ومن
شهادت رهبر بسم الله حرکت کنیم. خدا خیرتون بده.
در کنار مردم فلسطین و برای یاری آن همه کاری انجام دادند، حتی در سطوح
مرگ به کودک کش مردم فرید
به عدالت و آزادی اعلام می‌داریم که حمایت از مدارین اعلام می‌نماییم پوشانی رژیم اشغالگر قدس و تغییر بنیادین در
Thank you.